My kids are 23 and almost 21 in 2 weeks. My son's going to turn 21. So I have been through it. So I want you to know that when you are worried about whether your kids are going to be all right, when you're worried about whether they're going to rebound, whether they're going to recover, um, whether they're going to be successful in life, I understand that. I understand that. One of my kids swam, and he still swims. So he's a sophomore at uni in the United States, and he's a highly competitive swimmer. So I went down that road while I was coaching. I was also parenting, and alongside parents. So understanding the coach's hat, the parent hat, and how those two things overlap and don't overlap, I have lived it. I'm telling you that I've lived it. Okay. My daughter's 23. She's about to graduate from uni, and she's going to be a school teacher. A lot of people think that my background in like parenting, to talk to swim parents, comes from parenting my son through swimming, but my daughter did not swim. She was actually born deaf, so she has a cochlear implant. She has 2 cochlear implants. The reason I say that is because I want you to know that the fear that you feel as a parent is real for me too. I really didn't know if she was like gonna make it, right? Like, is she gonna support herself? Is she gonna have friends? Is she gonna be able to do well in school? These are questions that you ask about your kids, but I'm telling you, I'm asking them on a far deeper level than you're probably asking them about your kid that's going to MIAG, right? And I also ask that about my own son, who is doing the things where I get nervous about performance, where I really could coach him. And I did coach him, but on the deck and not at the dinner table. And I'm alongside parents who, partially because I'm very invested in swimming, but partially because they were the peers of my son, they did trust me. They did trust me as a person, and they trusted me in my swimming knowledge and my content knowledge. And so when I said, I want you to not bring your stopwatch to me, I want you to not talk about their strategy. I want you to not talk about the fact that they lost to their rival this weekend. I want you to not do that right now. Can you please not do that right now? I'm really trying hard to support your kid. And they would. And it helped. And I felt like I was partners with these parents. The coaches really do want to partner with you. But there have been experiences where they don't trust you personally. But because of your predecessors, they're going to start off not trusting you. When I first came to Malaysia 2 years ago, I was learning about what the dynamics were here with parents and with athletes, with culture. And it is a little bit different. It's a little bit different. And those were some of the questions that we talked about last year. So happy to talk about it again this year. I think what we do well here is give our kids resources. Resources are not just financial, right? They're human resources. They're tutoring, right? There's extra help. There's time and space. There's driving them to practice. There's making sure there's food on the table. I think the parents in Malaysia take their job really seriously. And I appreciate that. I mean, you laugh. Like, I think that's a good, like, again, I'm a parent. I took my job really seriously too. It's serious business, right? So as we go over best practices today, I really don't want you to feel like I'm scolding you. I really want you to know that I am trying to help. I am trying to help. Now, I just did come off SEA Games. where we have young adult athletes. And I saw the worst parenting behavior that I had in the 2 years that I had been in Malaysia at that level. It was horrific. Parents were ruining their child's opportunity that they cared so much about in front of my face. I was astounded. I was sad. I was upset. Please don't hurt your athlete. And ironically, you care more about that athlete than I do. I care about them as a swimmer that I'm trying to support, as someone I'm trying to put forward for the country, as a human being that I've seen go through highs and lows. And when I see the person that they care about most step into, there's some seats up here. Yeah. Step into that conversation in a way that they walk away and I see their 22-year-old son crying. I see their 24-year-old son on the bus. They can't think anymore. And all the work that we put in, gone. Everything that we did, all the planning, all the training, you think about your kids. Ruined. You can ruin it. And I really don't want you to. I know you don't want to either. But again, as a parent, I have also ruined things for my kids. Yeah. And not just once, right? Yeah. So I am coming to you in humility. I'm coming to you with experience. And I'm coming to you with that same depth of desire that if we're going to do this, we're going to do well for the one shot we have at raising our kids. Please, let's really just think about doing it right and not right like culturally. I mean, my brain and your brain are the same. Maybe my face doesn't look like your face. I know. But my brain looks like your brain. And those little kid brains look exactly like my little kids' brains. I don't want you to hurt their brains. I don't want you to hurt their little hearts. Because it comes back. And when the stakes get higher, if they aren't equipped with a steady, solid force behind them, that is your unconditional love and unconditional acceptance, they will break. They need you. You are the cement under the bridge. But then the coaches are sending the cars across the bridge. Okay? But you are the support. And if they don't have you, they really can't do it. They can't do it without you. Do you know when you guys coach your kids and then we coach your kids, do you know who they're going to listen to? You. Not my kids. That's actually good. If your kid is like, get out, you've done actually a really good job. If your kid is still 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and they're like, yes, mom, I'll do everything you say. Yes, mom. Is that kid ready to go? No, that kid's not ready to go. I want your kids to make as many mistakes as possible, not the ones with forever consequences, the ones with temporary consequences. But I would like those between like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Mistakes at 15 start getting a little more serious. Mistakes at 18 are a big deal. Mistakes at 22 can ruin your life. Right? So if you have kids younger than 13, who has kids younger than 13 here? Good. Let's start now. Because I don't want to see you in 8 years at SEA Games and be like, I told you not to do that. Okay. Let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about it. I'm going to start with just a little bit of data first. And like I said, if I finish early, I'll show you a lot of data. I came up with a new page, man. It's pretty cool. Okay. So we're going to start with when the kid swims, why do you think it's good or bad? How do you make that judgment? Is it a good swim because they got a personal best? Is it a good swim because they won? Because they podiumed, right? Is it a good swim because of the way they swam it? They held their technique together. They did a nice pacing. Their strategy was good and they were able to follow through. Is it a good swim because they tried, right? We're going from outcome to input here, right? So from the top, the best time at this age, okay, and I'm going to say 17 and under. I'm going to say 21 and under. A best time does not mean that it was a good swim. It really does not. There's so many factors involved. What did they get better at? What component did they get better at? And did it make up for something getting worse in a different area? Right? The time isn't actually, I mean, yes, it's the thing that shows up on the board, but we're in process and there's a lot of components to what's going on out there. Okay. The place, please don't get excited about the win. This is something that's really important. When we get excited about a win, that is telling them exactly what it is you value most. So what we're going to get excited about is not things that they can't control. It's things about character. It's things about aligning with your values. And those will lead, if our character and our values are in line with success, which as parents, that's what we want, right? We want to make sure that we're instilling them with long-term values, with long-term traits that are going to drive overall success. Okay. So when we're looking at good swim, bad swim, I would ask you to actually not take anything on the first page and not look at that at all. What I'd like you to decide if it's a good swim or a bad swim is asking your swimmer. So a lot of parenting is asking the right question and then let them talk, let them work it out. What do you think of that? How was that for you? How do you feel about that? Instead of, great job. Great job is nice. What if they missed their turn, gained 10 seconds, and got fourth in the podium as top 3, and their best friend beat them? And you say, good job. Well, you're not matching their energy at all, are you? Are they super excited about that? They're probably not. Right? So ask them, how do you feel about that? How are you doing? Right? What does your coach think? What you want to do is set your role up so that they go to the coach for the content and they go to you for the character. We want our coaches to model character, absolutely, but they are not the person in charge of our child's character. We are. So you need to lock down on their character. So when you talk about what they do, including a race, you lock down on character. Content, give that to the coach, because honestly, you don't know. I've been coaching for longer than I care to admit. I told you how old my kids are. So you can guess how long I've been coaching. When I talk to my kid, my own personal kid, after a race, I do the same thing. How do you feel about that? He will ask specific questions. I will answer those, and then I will expand into something that I think he can maybe think about and learn and leverage over the next training period. That's what I'm doing as coach for my own kid. If my daughter comes up and asks me about her basketball game, what do you think of that? I say, I don't know. Should I say well, I think you didn't get in the right place for your 3-point shot and your elbow was a little bit wide, and shouldn't you be using your knees more when you jump? Do you think she wants to hear that from me? Do you think her coach is already telling her that? Yeah. Do your kids ever roll their eyes at you? Yeah. If they roll their eyes, just stop. That's your signal. Let it go. When I swam, I was on the national team, and I was one of those people that was supposed to make the Olympics. And in the United States, we take top 6 in the 100 free because we have 4 people swim in the morning and then we switch them out. We got 2 at night. And I went into Olympic trials ranked 7. So it's real, right? It's not I want to be an astronaut. I want to go to the Olympics. No, it's real. It's a real thing. And I did not make the Olympics. And the first thing that went through my head was, my mom's going to be so upset. So shouldn't I be taking care of my own feelings at that point? Isn't that an event for me? That's my event. That's my loss. That's my grief. I've got to manage that. And I'm 17 years old, 18 years old, 19 years old, right? You don't ever want your kid to have that feeling. It came out of love. And you know this. You've been disappointed. You've been actually sad when your kid has not done what they wanted to do. It's not even your goal. It wasn't my mom's. It truly was not. And honestly, I had a great swimming parent. My mom was a great swimming parent. But I'm telling you that your kids love you as much as you love them. And when you show your cards, when you show your feelings, when you show that you're hurt, that it hurts you, that they're having these feelings, and you don't rock steady with them, then when they swim bad, not only are they worried about their own feelings, but I guarantee you they're worried about yours. They're worried about what you're going to think, how you're going to feel, what are you going to think of them? And that starts pretty early. And so I want to pull you away from that. If you were here last year, we talked about you being that steady lighthouse. You got to be calm. You got to sit still. You got to shine bright in the direction you want them to go. Those are your values. That's your character. And you lock that in. Don't move. Don't move your emotions. Don't move your behavior. And they're smart. They know. Right? Yeah. So lock it in. Lock it in. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about development today. We're going to talk about what the good things that we do are. We're going to talk about what the things that hurt them. Okay. So I was doing a data dive because I'm doing a whole project for us that I think is going to really, really help. So what I did is I went into the USA Swimming data. I pulled the top 500 times from all the events for boys and for girls, for 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds. Ooh, and I did it actually for 12 and 13, but it's not in this set of data. And then, so I did that for 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. So that's 112,000 times that I have in this database. And then I said, okay, I'm going to search the person at 15 that showed up the next year at 16. The person at 16 that showed up the next year at 17, and so on in these events. And then I said, how many people improved through all those three transitions, 15 to 16, 16 to 17, 17 to 18? At least 73% of those athletes had an entire year that they did not go a best time. So some of you guys, the red flag goes up when they meet without a best time, right? Oh, they did a best time at Selangor State. I expect a best time at MIAG, and a best time at MO, and a best time at Sport Excel, and then Sport Excel 2, and the Grand Final, and President's Cup, and MSSM, and la. First off, that's not going to happen. Our sport works in giant chunks where we put in this is why swimmers turn out. I think swimmers are turning out some of the best, hardworking, high character people, adults in the world. People want to hire swimmers. In the United States, if you graduated and swam during college, they will look at you over the other 100 people that applied with the same GPA, and the same major, with the same test scores. We all know as parents, it's a big sea out there. So when we're looking at our swimmers, one of the things that we need to do is put together time blocks where we can delay gratification, because we have to go through an 8, 10, 12, 16-week process in order to get the gains. So swimmers are really good at working through difficult times for a long time with delayed gratification. And so we're talking about character, we're talking about values, right? Yeah, that's part of what does it. If your swimmer gets to 13, 14, 15 years old and they keep training like a 9, 10, 11-year-old, where, yeah, you know what, your 10-year-old may actually go best times at the state meet, at MAAG, at MO, and all the Grand Final, right? All the things. They might. Why? Because they're growing. That's old. It's because they're growing and swimming more. That doesn't mean they're becoming better swimmers. The growing slows down. You can't infinitely swim more, right? They go to 5 practices a week. Okay, they go to 6. Great. 7. Okay. 8. Sometimes 9. 10. 11. No. 12? No. 16? Like how many hours? It's not infinite. It's not additively infinite. So at some point, you have to make the hours that you're putting in richer, right? They can't study another 10 more hours. So it's not going to be an additional hour of studying that's going to get them the good grades when they're 17. It's going to be how effective are they in that hour that they do study? Because there's no more hours in the day. As adults, as parents, we know that there really are no more hours in the day. So only 20%, 27% of those athletes are going to improve every time. So you're going to have a dip. Again, this is the transitions from 15 to 18. So a quarter of the kids, essentially, from 15 to 16, are not going to improve. 16 to 17 is rougher. 17 to 18 is brutal because you have stopped growing kind of around here if you're a girl, kind of around here if you're a boy-ish, right? And if you have continued to try to peak every 3 weeks and you never did put in the work, you're about to pay for that. You're about to pay for not putting in the work. That means you have to show up not at your best and race in front of people not at your best in the middle of a training block. And that can be hard. Well, it's embarrassing. I didn't go best time in front of anybody. Okay. Well, my mom's going to get mad at me that I didn't go best time. Right? Well, okay. Well, you have to support the blocks that are going to allow them to get the work in. Okay. So then I said, if any of you guys are statistics people, I said, the people that are under the middle, the average, 1 Z-score or below, those are below average swimmers. Do they improve faster because they have a higher ceiling because they're not there yet? No. That's these guys. Average to good. Okay, so that's between a 0 and a 1 standard deviation of athletes, right? They're just above average. If you're faster than average, does that change how fast you improve? No. If you're really good, we're talking about like Z-score 1 to 1.5, right? Like we're pretty good. We're getting in the top like 10% of the athletes. Does that protect you? No. And how about the really fast people? So you guys, if they made MIAG for Selangor, they're over here. Your kids are the fastest swimmers in Selangor, and Selangors are really fast swimmers. So are your kids somehow buffered from not improving because they're fast? No. You can't get out of it. You can't get out of it. Your kid's going to go, their improvement is going to look like that. So, first of all, with 17, 18, the most vulnerable age, and I know most of our swimmers in here are not, however, they're going to be in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 years, right? So, a lot of factors are conflating into why they're not going faster. So, they're going to go to uni, they're going to change coaches. They grew up, they only had like a couple of things to care about. Now they've got lots of things to care about. There's pressures coming from all sorts of directions. They're not sure where they're passionate and where they're not. They're still exploring themselves like you and I were at 17 and 18, right? Their maturation is weird. If you have a daughter or you are a mom, you know that you get issued one car as a child and then they reissue your car during puberty and then you end up driving a new car out of puberty. Right? And you don't get to go shopping for your adult female car. You don't. Your body's going to change. And you have no control over it. So guys, I know, like you guys got to get strong. That's all you did. You grew and you got strong and your emotions got a little volatile, but that was basically your only downside for male puberty. For the women out here, you have no control over what it's going to be. You have to drive that car that you get issued, that body, after puberty. Learning how to drive the car that you get issued during puberty, figure out your body, could take 6 months. It could take 6 years. And again, speaking as a woman, it's not always easy to drive your car. It's not always easy to get your body composition right? Your strength correct, your flexibility correct. All the things, you're tired sometimes, you're overtired at some times of the month, you're ready to go at other times, right? And we don't get to control that. So have some grace as you help them learn how to drive their car. Don't shame them because they got issued a car that you don't like. I guarantee you, if you don't like that car, they really don't like that car, right? Okay. Yeah, and then so the women are having a harder time. The boys from 17 to 18, still 3 of those events, the median is typical, right? Typically, still 3 out of the 14 events for boys, they don't get a fast time too. They don't get a best time either. So there's lots of issues that go into this maturity and this development process. Now, if they don't get a best time between 15 and 16, it's 76% likelihood that they're going to get a best time at 16. They didn't from 15 to 16. 16 to 17, yeah, they'll probably get a best time. Hang on. Okay, if they did it twice and 16 to 17, their events slowed down, it's over a 50-50 shot, but there's work to be done. If it was 2 years in a row, there's work to be done. And probably they're feeling kind of deflated. They're probably having a hard time learning how to drive their car. They're probably frustrated with whatever it is that created that situation in the first place. Then we'll talk about how you help them through that. Okay. So so first of all, improvement is definitely not linear. It's not going to go like that. We know that as adults. Our improvement wasn't like that either. You study and you study and you study and you study. You don't get it, and you don't get it, and you don't get it. You're like, oh, there it is. Right? That would be like this. Oh, I understand. Right? We've had that too. Okay. So sometimes the kid's going to go, ooh, they're above average. Ooh, they're doing great. Oh my goodness. Tommy Touchpad is beating my son by a lot. I'm really mad at my son. Don't do that. We're going to be fine. Oh, look, hey. He's the guy that won. He made SEA Games. I'm good, right? Don't quit here. When this happens, I need you to know that it's normal. I need you to know that it's expected, right? Do you have lottery tickets here? If you bought a lottery ticket and it had 76% that you were going to get a certain sum of money, you'd buy that lottery ticket, right? You'd buy it every day. Yeah. So your kid, that 76% is basically, they're going to rebound. Just don't panic. Please don't panic. And if your kid's younger than that and they don't go best time, oh my God, don't even. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Maybe they slept funny on their ear, like that's what little kids do. So you don't ask them what changed, but you can in your head say, what changed? Oh, we're taking 6 AP classes and extra tutoring, and we're also playing 3 sports still. There's not that much time in a day, especially not to really go in depth. So in youth, you're about breadth. All sorts of things. Try all sorts of things. Go do this, go do that, play this sport, do this game. Awesome. But then when they get older, it becomes about depth in an area that they find rewarding. So when they're in that stage, when they have too many things that they're doing, they're going to be frustrated because they can't do what is developmentally needing to happen in terms of just child development. They're going into a phase where they want depth. And if you don't allow that depth to happen, they're just going to be frustrated because other people are then seeing depth. And they're like, I want that. I want to be fast at this thing. They say, well, I'm doing this as if it's my primary thing. I'm studying as if it's my one most important thing. I'm trying to see my friends as if that's the only thing I'm doing. I'm trying to help out at home as if that's the only thing that's my priority. And I'm working out as if that's the only thing that's my priority. Can you do that? I don't know about you, but I have a hard time making sure my lunches are ready every week for myself. I don't have kids at home anymore. We don't put things on them that you can't even do, right? Help them, but temper your expectations about their capacity, because even if they're 15, 16, 17 years old, they're still working on making sure that they're showing up in lots of different areas at the same time. Okay. This is the part where I yell at you. It won't last long, I promise. I have seen stopwatches during normals. Can you guys police each other? Are you I know you're not comfortable with that. And having many years as a coach, I have no problem at all walking up into the parent section and scolding you. And I did it at Sukma when we had an incident, and I scolded the entire parent section. So I'm telling you, if you show up with a stopwatch and I see you, we're gonna have some eye contact. Okay? Don't bring your stopwatch. Don't bring it to practice. Don't bring it to a meet. I don't know why you own one. Yeah, that's not your toy. That's our toy, not your toy. Okay? Videos at home. Again, pre-Sukma. We're talking about Malaysia's best athletes. Well, we were watching his video at home, and I was like, I'm going to stop you there. Why? What are you going to tell them? Are you contradicting where we are? We might have the same vision for this person's swim, and we are going through a fundamental process. It's like math, right? We're going to learn to add, and then we're going to learn to multiply. We're going to learn to divide, and you're trying to teach calculus? You think that's going to work? Do you think they're going to get frustrated? Do you think that they're going to say, that's not how my teacher teaches it? And my coach says this, and you said that, and you're talking about a thing I don't even know what you're talking about. Now your swimmer is confused. And if you're doing that, and they're at a level where timing is critical, and a clear head is critical, I'm mad at you. Get out of the way. Don't. I know you know swimming because you're watching your kids. I get that. But you're not in charge of swimming. If you're a computer science programmer and the kid is taking programming and they ask you for help, yeah, show them why Python works like that. This is an if-then statement. This is an if-then and else statement. Great. Yeah, tell them. Great. But if you're going to go into the stuff that you do at work and they're going to go, hey, I don't know. That's not on the test, Dad. Right? Make it clear if they ask you a question, and then get out. Get out of the conversation. Let the conversation happen between the athlete and the coach, because the coach is trying to bring them somewhere, and there's an agreed upon vision there. And that's the person that's going to guide them at practice every single time. Right? You can't just drop in and coach and then leave. It confuses them. I'm telling you, it confuses them. Reviewing the race footage at home. Have you ever been filmed doing anything? Has anyone filmed you? Do you want to watch that with somebody? Who has gone to group fitness classes? Ladies, Zumba, something that, yeah. Who wants to be front and center in that class? Who hides in the back? Yeah, because I don't need you to see me tripping over my legs and fumbling around, because I'm learning. I'm busy learning. I'm in the middle of it. Don't stop. Don't look at me. You review their race footage and no, they're going to be embarrassed. They're going to be like, oh, I didn't know that's what I looked like. The first time I saw myself swim, again, I'm really old. So we had like this big giant camcorders that we had like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, right? The first time I saw myself swim, I did not know which person it was. I really did not. I could not pick myself out. I thought I looked pretty good. When I swim, it feels really good to me. When I saw myself swim for the first time, I was horrified. It's not good at all. And I was embarrassed. And I certainly don't want to like go over that with my mom. Right? Okay. So leave that. Leave that out. First of all, there's two coaches. There aren't two coaches. You are not a coach. Don't. It undermines the one that's supposed to be guiding them. So now they're just confused. Should I do what my dad says or should I do what my coach says? Well, my dad's the one that buys me lunch. So I'm going to do what my dad says. Right. And again, if your kid is already like, Mom, don't talk to me about it. That's good. We want that. We encourage that behavior. Mom, don't talk to me about it. And it also says, I don't trust your coach. You shouldn't trust your coach. They don't know what they're doing. You trust me. I'm going to guide you through this. Are you though? Do you want to? Again, as somebody who has coached their own child, I don't think you do. I don't think you do. You know how much pressure a coach feels guiding an athlete? You know how much pressure you feel guiding your own child? Combine those things. Don't add them together, multiply them together. And then give it a cubic. Like it's crazy. You don't want that. You don't want to be your swimmer's coach because guess whose fault it is when they fail? And they're going to fail, right? So if you're the parent and the coach, there's nowhere to run, right? It's definitely your fault, right? So you don't want that role. You don't want that role. You just want help. Okay. I know this is a little small. I'm going to read it to you. Please don't say or gauge your energy. You watch your face, right? Please don't let your face say that a PB was the most important thing. It's not actually. It's not over time. Absolutely over time. But in each specific moment, it's not. Watch your face. Watch your tone. They're not dumb. They know when you're upset. Don't give them the silent treatment. Even if you're trying to hide it, they're going to know. I appreciate that you're hiding it, but they know. You don't want them to think that your approval is conditional on something they can't fully control. Oh my gosh, how are you going to ground this child to be rock steady confident, to get up at SEA Games and say, all right, I believe in myself. I can do this. At least I'm going to try. I believe in myself enough that I'm going to give myself to this race. Let's go. Do you want them getting off the blocks being like, no, I'm not sure. My dad said do this. My coach said do this. And I do these other things. And I'm not really sure if I can control it or not. You're going to get slaughtered out there, right? What is the first thing you said after your kid's last bad race? You don't have to tell anybody. Just at Selangor State, where they qualified. Did your face do bad things? I have a hard time controlling. Marilyn knows in meetings, I have a really hard time controlling my face. So I understand if you have a hard time controlling your face, but you're going to have to control your face for your child. Okay. So more importantly, what did you say after their good race? Because it can be conditional too. Like, oh my gosh, I made my mom so happy. Okay, so I told you my daughter's born deaf, right? So the exercises, the person would come over to our house and like help me with sign language and help me with like lip reading and like all these things, like auditory verbal therapy, right? And so what she said to me was every time at the very, very beginning, every time she responds to a sound, any sound, make your face right, encourage, give her kisses, whole thing. Because we're training her, that's what she wants. If she doesn't respond to a sound, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Don't change your face. Don't be upset. Nothing. So bad gets even keel. We're still good. Love you. All good. All good. All good. Something good happens. Because we were programming her 12-month-old brain to condition that. So we wanted conditioning. So then here I'm telling you, you don't want conditioning. You don't want conditioning. So if you did that to your 12-year-old, where they had a good swim and you're like, good job, baby. And then they didn't swim and you were like, oh, I didn't even notice anything happened. And they'd be confused, right? Because it would be purely conditional on the swim. So when I say be steady, that means the relationship doesn't change. And sometimes, I know sometimes my son has gotten mad at me for not getting upset with him. Like, not with him, with him. You know, like, you're not upset the way I'm upset. And I say, no, I'm not. Son, I believe in you. That was hard. I get it. And having swam, I really do get it. That is hard. I think you're handling it well. These are things that I've said to my son after like a tough year, a tough swim. Because, yeah, match the energy. Like, I am sad with you. I am sorry with you. I feel for you. How can I help? What can we do? What do you want me to do? I'm here for you. But that's the right answer, right? I have heard these things said. Remember we talked about the 76% likelihood? What? I'm going to say 50% of you in this room right now have said one of these things. So sit with it for a second. And now I want you to say, I've done a bad thing. Okay, so have your moment. Okay, now we're done. Okay, so we're never going to talk about that again because you're not going to do it again. Okay, this is how you ruin their joy and therefore their future in swimming. When you get up on the blocks at SEA Games, you got to want to be there. And you got to really want to be there. I know for me, when I was getting up on the blocks at nationals, Olympic trials, right, international meets, I'm so scared. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I don't really know if I can do it. I think I can do it. I put in the work. I'm pretty sure, but I haven't done it yet. So I don't know if I can do it. Right? I've got enough angst and enough nerves inside me. I don't need yours too. Right? They don't need anybody else's. Pool needs to be a place I want to be, where I'm allowed to grow, where I'm allowed to make mistakes because growth doesn't happen without mistakes. It cannot be a place of fear. If you do that, you just started the clock on when they're going to quit, when they're going to go, I don't want to do this anymore. Well, I don't blame them. I wouldn't either if I had somebody on my back all that time like that. I'm working hard. I haven't figured it out. No, Mom, I don't know how to go fast. If I did, I would be winning. I clearly don't. Can you let me figure this out? They care more than you do. Let them have some space to work that out and to find some control. They're going to be tight. They're going to panic. They're not going to swim fast. Don't punish normal development. It's normal. It's normal. If I say 70%, 76% of you, when you walk out the door, are going to trip over that cord in the back, there's no cord in the back. But if 76% of you are, and if you trip on that cord in the back, I'm going to smack you on the back of the head. So I'm going to smack 76% of you on the back. That doesn't make sense. The game's rigged, right? Don't punish that, okay? Let's have a moment. Because you've done it. Most of you have. The worst thing that you can do is make the people that they work hard with every day in the pool, their teammates, the only ones they go to battle with, their comrades. The worst thing you can do is make their comrades their enemies. We need our teammates. We need our team. We have to fight with somebody. They are puking right next to us. They are there at 5 o'clock in the morning next to us. I need you there at 5 o'clock in the morning next to me. I need you working as hard as I am. I need you to feel what I'm feeling. I need you to know that I'm scared and I know that you're scared. I need you. We are comrades. You pit somebody against, you go take the person that I go to battle with every day and you try to make them my rival and my enemy. Now I'm alone. Now I'm alone. Don't do that. I need my friends. Even though I get up and race them. Do you know who my best friends are? The people that I raced against. The people that were in that call room before I didn't make the Olympic team. Those are my friends. The ones that did, the ones that didn't, the ones that didn't even make the final, right? Those are my friends. We work together. We know what it's like. We've been there together. Do not take that away from them. The other thing that happens is not only do you take their teammates away, you take their comrades away. And teammates, I'm meaning like, I was teammates with people that live 3,000 miles away from me. I'm in Los Angeles, they're in New York, and we show up together, and these are my best friends. So I'm not talking about teammates at New Wave, at PADE, at whatever. I'm not even talking about teammates in Selangor. If this goes well, they're going to have teammates in Penang, they're going to have teammates in Thailand, they're going to have teammates in Australia, they're going to have teammates in the United States. The farther they go, the bigger their world becomes. So you don't pit them against each other. Okay. And then I really can't control what Marilyn and I swim to 50 free. I have no control over Marilyn's training. Whether she's inspired, whether she had a growth spurt, whether she got a great weight room strength and conditioning director and or her start got better. I have no control over that. Mom, I can't tell you if I'm going to beat Marilyn. Besides, Marilyn's my friend. Don't bring it up. And I can't do anything about it anyway. Do you think I'm not going to try my hardest? Regardless of who's next to me? You think I'm going to try harder because you said I need to beat my best friend? That's just making me confused. We don't want that. The other swimmer is not under their control. Your child's effort is, and your support is. Okay, so when we leave control, then I don't know how to make you happy anymore. Because again, if I could control me going fast, I would. I'm trying to, right? When you give your child some sort of emotional punishment, you're not saying it with words, but you're saying that you are not enough. Your best effort, your best thoughts, your desire, your passion, your skills, your body are not good enough for me. I understand, again, I am a parent. And I am a parent of two very different kids. They already have enough of this. Right? Yeah. They're already comparing themselves. They're already a little bit worried that they're not enough. And then you're going to lock that down. You're going to confirm it for them. This is serious, right? Don't make swimming a place where you tell them that they're not enough and they're never going to be, right? Because do they have control over how tall they're going to be, how strong they're going to be, how big their feet are? No, in fact, that's your fault. Thank you very much. Whenever my son gets up in front of, so one of his teammates is from Croatia, and he is very, very fast. I think his long course 50 free is like 21.5. Yeah, it's real. It's real. He's in big boy land, right? And you get like most of your physicals race from your mom. And you just say, I'm so sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry. Like, that's all I have. I'm short. I'm not flexible. I don't have big feet, and I'm just really sorry. I did the best I could. I didn't know. I mean, that's all I had. That's all I had, man. So make sure that, that you're supporting them as best you can, and that you're giving grace for the things that they're either still working on or trying to control. Okay. Right. Make sure that you're helping them manage their own emotions. Don't manage it for them. Okay. So a lot of us want to step in. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. I get hurt. Some of you guys just gave me a face. You know. Okay. Some of you don't want your kids to have strong negative emotions. Some of you guys are fine with it, and I think you should be fine with it. They need to learn how to work that out. That's part of developing a confident skill set in yourself, is figuring out how to do that. Don't give them those bad messages. Okay. When you do that, you're just giving them an anvil to run with, right? So you are putting feelings on them that are now a burden. You're adding to the effort they're going to have to run with. You don't want them thinking about you. It creates noise. It's busy in their head, and we don't want to burden them. Your kid's not going to swim very fast if they're carrying an anvil. Okay. That's the hard part, guys. We're done with that. Okay. When we coach our swimmers, so some of the teams wear headsets, right? Where the coach is talking to the kid. In the United States, that was pretty rare. When I started doing it, probably like 6 years ago, and I started doing it for technique, so I could make sure that they were learning the right stuff. Then I would also keep it on during the hard sets when I was like driving them, and the words that I would use were unconscious to me. I was just coaching them, like, okay, you got this, hit this turn, yes, 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 that was a great wall, good job. Okay, now we're going to drive it, blah, 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 right? And they told me after we had been doing this for a while, they said, I heard you in my race. There, that was a good turn. You got this. Good, good, good. Build, build, build. Here come the legs. And I was like, oh, of course. It isn't why I was doing it, but I was becoming their inner voice. And then another kid came up to me at the end of that conversation. They said, my mom's my inner voice. So I was just like, my heart broke for a little second. I was like, well, that's not good, right? So know that your words that you say to them are what they are then saying to themselves in their inner voice. Okay? And I feel this sometimes because I do talk myself through hard things. I very much am like saying it in my head. But what I noticed for me is when I would do like a 5K, like in the United States, we have the turkey trot on Thanksgiving because we're about to eat a whole lot. And so we run first, and so we don't feel as guilty about it. You guys know that? So when I'm doing a 5K, and I'm a horrible run, I run like a hippo. Like it's really bad. And so when I run, I talk myself through it. I literally say in my head, there you go. You're doing fine. There's the 1K. Okay, remember breathing. Yes, your stomach hurts. Yes, you have a cramp. That's okay. It'll pass. I just keep talking. Because I'm so uncomfortable and it's so awful because I'm not a very good runner. But I have also noticed myself in other areas that are not athletic, where I didn't get really good coaching. And I noticed myself saying things like, oh, come on, Megan, get it together. Come on, what are we doing? Come on, that's not it. And I noticed myself say those things and say those words. Let's switch that, right? Do you self-talk? I think you should self-talk, especially if you have a job where your content matters and you have to perform. You got to get it done, right? If you're a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, and you're selling houses, like metrics matter. So you have to do well at your stuff. Notice the talk that goes through your head, and notice if that's what you would want going through your child's head. And then make sure the stuff that comes out of your mouth is proper. Be that safe place, because you're going to be the voice in their head. Okay. So if they're going to have an off year, we've got a plan for that. We want to encourage failure. So that's Katie Ledecky and her dad over there. And then her coach, Bruce Gellum, was famous for saying that she would just go out and fail. She would set herself up for failure, but she would fail forward. So she would fail by driving so hard at something that she knew she could not sustain. So if we're doing, 16 100s of freestyle on, I don't know, I guess it's 130, 2 minutes, whatever. And the best time that she had held on that set, best average, was, let's say, 108. Okay. She would go 102, 102, 102. Is she going to hold 102? She's going to go from 108. And 3 weeks later, she's going to hold 102. No. And she's like, I'm going to hold 102 today. And she would go 102, 102, 102, 102, 102, 103, 105, 109, 112, 112, 112, 112, 111. She's like, I just wanted to see how fast I could go. I wanted to see how far I could take that into the set. I just wanted to know how far I could go before I failed. And that's how she did everything. Talking about long-term athletic development. How old is Katie Becky? Do you know? 27? 27? She went, I'm going to say like 6 years without a best time. Yeah. And this year at 27, she went 2 best times. She set a world record in, oh, goodness gracious. Yes, maybe it was the 800. I can't remember. And then she swam a yards time. So in the United States, we swim in the little, call it the bathtub, the yards pool. And she went faster than she ever did in college. Would you let your kids swim from 21 to 26 without a best time? Let them. They're obviously adults then. Would you be like, can you knock it off now? Are you done? Well, she wasn't done. She's not going to be done until LA because that's what she wants to do. Right? Yeah. And she does that because she's fine with failing because she likes what she's doing. She's into it. She wants to see what she can do. That doesn't guarantee that it's going to work out, but she wants to see. So let's let them see, right? It's not going to be if they fail. It's going to be when they fail and how you handle failure and how you define failure. And you can redefine that. It's not really failure. And I'm not telling you that as like cute, flowery words. It's not really fun. As a coach and as a parent, it really isn't. Play the long game. Play the long game with your kids. It's not about what happens next weekend. Your reaction is the most important thing. Okay, so here are your lines. We are not going to say, did you just swim personal best? What happened out there? I'm not talking to you. You should have kicked harder. You should have gone out faster. You should have, whatever, fill in the blank. What you are supposed to say, these are your lines, and I'll give them to you again later. I'd love to watch you swim. And do you, though? Yeah, you really do. I do. I do. I love watching my son swim. It's my guy. It's my little guy. And he's trying his little heart out there. I could not be more proud of him. Honest to goodness. He's been in heats with Caleb Dressel and Jack Alexi and those guys. My little kid is standing there. I'm proud of him just because he's earned the right to stand there. I can't believe it. Honestly. So if you feel that, you should show that. My kid is out there. I'm so proud of you for getting behind those blocks. But it has to be true. I'm saying that because I really am proud. And that's before he did those things. He was not fast. Like he was not on the equivalent. He was not on the MIAG team at 12, at 13. He was not. No. He was a splash guy. He really was. And then he was a Sport Excel guy. And then he did other things. But it was not like if your kid, 12, 13, 14 years old, he was not on this team. And I was so proud of him. He was a short little fat guy, his squishy little body, big old Charlie Brown head behind the blocks. I'm like, it's my guy. That's my little guy out there, right? So if you do love to watch them swim, tell them, show them, make your face light up. It's a real thing, right? How do you feel about that? And you have to really want to know. You're not like just begging something so that you can talk and tell them how you feel about that. All these things have to be true. You have to want to know how they feel about that and then wait for the answer. And don't let them wiggle off. Fine. Now tell me more. Just wait for it, right? I'm proud of you. Has to be real. I'm with you. Has to be real. Okay? Especially when they get fast. So now they're on the MIAG team. They are going to start developing a swimming-oriented identity. And that's cool. That's cool. We want them to feel proud of themselves. But you have to make sure they know that they're more than their performances. You really, really do. And it's got to be real, again. And then when they are sad, it's okay to feel that. It's okay that you feel that. Because it's sad. Some of the things that are going to happen, missing a thing, missing a gold medal by 200s, not making the team, not making the relay. These things are going to be sad for them and for you. And that's okay. Just sit with it. I'm with you. Yeah, that's hard. Focus on the things they can control. Okay, you can help preparation, right? Help them with their sleep. Help them with their food. Not in a pressure way. You got to be bed by 8. You got 6 minutes to hit REM sleep, right? You know, we all do that when we got like an early meeting in the morning. We're like, oh God, I got to sleep well tonight. I got to perform tomorrow. It's not going to work, right? It doesn't work for them. It doesn't work for you, right? Recovery. Hey, let's take the day off. Let's not think about it. Yesterday, after many months, I took a day off. And I did silly things. I fiddled with I organized my kitchen a little bit. I did some laundry. And I watched a show. That's all I did yesterday. And it was lovely. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do it in 6 months again. Their mindset about what they're doing, this is a lifestyle. This isn't just what I do in the next week. This isn't about what happens over the next week. This is a lifestyle that they're going into, and hopefully it'll be pretty cool. We want them to enjoy that, especially if that's their first taste at MIAG. Let's make it positive as best we can. Even if they false start, get DQ'd, miss their race, and are left off the relay. And that's the entirety of their meet. But they got a really cool green shirt. Love the color. They met new friends. They got to be on the team. Like, there are cool things. And I'm not saying lie to them, because those things are hard. It's disappointing. I had a friend, well, she's a friend now, but I coached her. And she went to Olympic trials. And on the first day, she gained time in one event. The next day, she gained time in another event. Some of you guys have heard this story. And then the third day, she got DQ'd. So how easy would it have been to say, like, oh, this is not my meet. I missed my taper. My season was horrible. My coach is bad. Right? But on the fourth day, she swam the 200 fly and she got the best time by like 0.01. But she got a second swim, top 16. So she got in at like, I don't know, 14th or something like that. Something in the middle of the pack. And then she had a great swim. And she got 8th. So she's in finals of the Olympic trials. You could stop there, right? She got 4th. Kid almost made the Olympic team. You know how quickly it would have been, easily it would have been to derail that after game, DQ. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what, and it might not happen the next day, but it might happen in MO. It might happen a year from now. It might happen way, way later. Don't derail that amazing thing. And don't take the opportunity away for them to grow like that. Imagine what was going on in her head. I gained. And now this time it wasn't just my body, it was my mind. I gained and I got DQ. You know how easily it would have been to say, like, I don't got it. Don't rob your child of the opportunity of climbing out of that. Okay. That's your job. That's our job. You stay in your lane. And we promise not to drive your kid and then make dinner in your house. We won't come into your kitchen. You don't come onto our pool deck. Yeah, deal? Yeah. You don't care if I'm a good cook, and I don't care if you're a good swimmer. It's my kitchen or my pool deck. Your kitchen, my pool deck. Right? Okay. If you were here last year, I started with a movie about the pit crew. Right? We watched the Formula One pit crew. And the pit crew is not the person that has the microphone that's talking to the driver. It's not the driver. It's not the car. It's not the engineers. It's not the person that does the wind tunnel stuff. The pit crew is there to change the tires as fast as possible, get the oil in the track. And then you know what they do for the next 15 minutes? I don't know when they're coming in again. I guess they're going to, it's your turn. And then they go, that's you. That's the pit crew. You don't try to be all of it. There's people for that. You have staff, right? Okay. You're going to need to talk to your coach at some point. Okay. Okay. Coaches have parent PTSD. We're traumatized. We all are. We've been through it. Think of the worst parent. We've had that parent. Okay, so we're scared of you most of the time. We're like, oh my God, what is this person was at? The stories that we could tell you. You would laugh. You would laugh. It wasn't funny at the time for us coaches, but we laugh now because it's ridiculous. It's okay to ask, what's the plan for my swimmer? What should I expect? And they should be able to tell you. Okay, great. Well, what should I expect this season? When am I going to be doing stuff? When are you going to expect me? How much money do I owe? What am I going to pay for? Those are valid questions, right? And you deserve to know that stuff. Hey, this is what my daughter's dealing with right now. We signed up for this, or this is what's going on with my family. Let them know. So then the coach, when something happens in the pool, they have more of a context of like, okay, I can give a little bit more grace to that. I understand what's going on. And don't just ambush them after practice. They don't have those answers for you when they're running off the deck and they got to pick up their kid from the activity that they were in. Right? So schedule a meeting. Tell them what you want to talk about. Hey, I'd like to schedule a meeting. I'd like to tell you what's going on in my daughter's life. And I'd like to know how to plan my year. So if you could be ready, sometime next week with the season plan and what your expectations are, I would love that. Now the coach is going to go, oh, yeah, I can do that. I can be ready for that. And now we're going to talk like this, where it's no big deal, right? I know you're not going to attack me. Yeah. Okay. Do not tell Tommy to tell coach that you don't like the set that they gave last week. Tommy doesn't need to be in that position, right? Don't put your kid in that position. Do not question the coach's training in front of your child, in the car, at the dinner table. Again, you're just confusing them. They don't know. They have no idea. They're children. They don't know. So don't plant those seeds of doubt in there. And then, this is the thing, isn't it? Maybe we should go to, maybe I'm on PADE. Maybe I should go to Newegg. What are they doing over there? Maybe I'm on Newegg. Maybe I want to go to, that DSA. Yeah. Maybe I should go to DSA. That ends. Maybe the kid on DSA is looking at PADE. And then the person at PADE is looking at the Newegg. And Newegg is looking at DSA. So you guys are all just going to go in a little carousel together. Nobody's going to get any better because there's no plan. Nobody knows what they're doing. Lock it in. Decide this is where I'm going to be. And I told you these blocks are like 12, 14, 16 weeks. And in fact, sometimes this block over here, this swim over here, has to do with how well the training was over here. So coaches kind of have a joke where when the kid switches teams and then the next season, the kid goes the best time. You know what the coach who's actually coaching that kid at that time does? They turn to the coach and they said, thank you. Because who put in that work? At that best time, let's say in December, and the kid switched teams in September, the other coach. the other coach. And they're like, yeah, I knew it was going to work. Yeah. But as coaches, we also know that we're always going to pass our swimmers, even if they're wearing the same cap, but we're passing them to the next group. It's always in service to the athlete and their long-term development. So I know that what I did is going to help them 3 years from now. And I know that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking about their long-term development. And so somebody else is going to get credit. In the United States, sometimes they'll say like the kid will go to college and they will have been there for, 2 months. It's the early season, mid-season taper meet. And the kid goes crazy fast. Yeah. And they're like, oh gosh, I don't want to say any swimmer's name because I don't want to, I will just say Tommy Touchpad. Tommy Touchpad, Longhorn of the University of Texas, dropped this much time in 3 months. And do you know what the whole swimming coaching community is doing? We're like, that had nothing to do with 3 months. Are you kidding me? That person's 19 years old. Somebody set that kid up for success. And the college coach knows it, and the age group coach knows it. We all know it, but in the press, that's Bob Bowman's swimmer. Don't do that. And if you believe in the long-term development of the team as a whole, then stay there. It's not about this particular season or this particular, 12, 13, 14 group or whatever. It's the long-term process. So sometimes kids switches teams, and while they were building, and had planned on building, and then the next team starts withdrawing from that bank account, right? Team A was investing, and Team B stops investing, and they pull out how much money was in there, and the kid goes really fast. So like, see, Team B's better. Us coaches know that the investment happened over here. And we also know that you made an early withdrawal. And now in 2 years, when you should have been investing, and it was really the right time to start opening it up, and they would have so much more. It's compound interest in our sport too. It is. So those 2 years are really important. And then you stop and you pull it out, early withdrawal. And then 2 years from now, we wonder why that kid's not, it's got to be Team B's fault. Well, maybe, or maybe it's yours for not sticking to the process. And you pulled the investment early. It wasn't ready to go. It didn't compound. Right? Okay. Anyway, let your coach is standing in front of that athlete all the time. And I guarantee you don't want to. You'd be bored out of your mind watching 2,000 hours of back and forth. Let your coach take care of that. Okay. We talked about this a little bit. You really have to have a genuine relationship with your kid when it comes to things this vulnerable, right? They know they're standing up there half naked in front of 2,000 people, right? Yeah, it's a real thing. Be with them. Don't lie to them, okay? I know this is disappointing. It's okay to say that. It's okay to acknowledge that this is really hard for them. Yeah, that's okay. It's normal. How are we going to handle this? How can I help? We're a team. You've got to be a good teammate with your child. And now, my kids are, like I said, 21, 23, and they still talk to me. Feels really good. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for giving it. That's what I want. I want you to get out there. And even when it's not public, I want you trying. I want you to care. And I want you to put your best foot forward. I want you to learn when you don't, because you're not always going to. Okay? So, what we don't want are these things. But if your child is truly experiencing some long-term stuff, these are signals of an actual problem. So these are signals when we don't just say, suck it up. You'll be fine. Let's just move through it. If they're really losing the joy, if they're really getting injured all the time, or they're sick all the time, if their mood is shifting on a more long-term type basis, If they are already saying like, I don't want to do this anymore, you need to have a real conversation. What's going on? Something has gone on for a long time. Okay, so those are the times where you really need to talk about it. And seeing a sports psychologist can be really, really helpful because it helps them sort confusion in their head. What's happening is they're confused, there's misalignment, they're not cohesive in their thoughts. Right? I think this and I think this. I'm pulled this way and I'm pulled this way, which is why we started with your role and the coach's role. Because if there's already misalignment, you're creating confusion for them, and this is where that ends up. So we want them to have alignment. Yes, this is hard, and I want to do it. Yes, this is scary, and I'm excited. But if they're having two feelings that are contradictory at once, then they're just going to be confused. Talk to your coach. That's when you got to go. Okay. So you shine the flashlight on those green things: effort, growth, process. You focus on those. Okay. Do not shine that flashlight, put that attention on times and rivals and the scoreboard. The scoreboard is we know as swimmers, we know we can read it too. I know that I entered at a 107 and I got a 109. I see it. I can do math too. Confidence. You want to help build confidence in them because they're going to need it. So that's your investment in them. Okay. So I saw you work on your turns. You have gone to practice every day this week. Whatever, call it out. Like, say something that's true. There's a lot of things. I mean, our kids, we know this. Our kids do 10 things, and maybe 5 of them are positive and 5 of them are negative. You can choose to shine that flashlight and highlight whatever you want. Now, if you want to highlight a negative thing, you certainly can. There's reasons for that. Obviously, again, I'm a parent. But if you're trying to build confidence, then you would shine it on something that is real, that you are proud of. It's not that they don't know these other things are happening, but you're trying to shine the flashlight on something that's good. You'll do great. I'm so nervous. You'll do great. Okay. So are you just telling me I'm wrong for feeling nervous? Like, now I'm nervous and I got the wrong answer in front of you. So it's not actually helpful. So I'm so nervous. You know what you do? You speak into your child who you are trying to help them become. So think about the things you want your children to become. Gritty, intentional, mindful. You want them to be hardworking, right? Go through the list of your personal values. And so the answer to I'm so nervous is, I get how it would feel like that, but remember, you're courageous, you're tough, you're gritty. I've seen you. Remind them who they are, who the best of who they are is, and who you're hoping that they will become. I've seen you be nervous before, and I've seen you handle that really well. I've seen you be scared, and I've seen you attack anyway. So the things you want, you speak that back into them. You remind them of their best version of their best self. You remind them of who you want them to become, and you speak it. And you send them off with that. I've seen you race before against people that you were intimidated by. And I've seen you really stick with them. I've seen you really hook on. Tell them who they are. Remind them. Right? Okay. And it has to be something they can identify with. So you can remind them of a real thing that you've seen them do in the past. Remember when you were worried about that spelling test? I don't know if you guys have spelling tests here, but remember when there was that math test? And then I saw you really, really study. I saw you really work hard that week. And remember when you got an A on that math test? Remember you were nervous before that too, but you put in the work. You did the learning and you followed through, remember? And it's real. They really did do that. So you call something from their memory that's real, that reminds them of what they're capable of, the best part of what they're capable of. Remind them. And you can use a math test, like when they're getting up for their 50 free, and they're 4 a.m. Oh, I'm really nervous. Yeah, okay. But remember when you had that math test that you were really worried about? Yeah, but I failed last time. I was really bad at my 4 last time. Yeah, but remember in that math test? Remember when you got a D on that other math test before that? And then you figured out how to study, and then you worked really hard to understand, and then you went to your teacher, and then you got an A. Remember when you did that? Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, here I go. I'm going to give it a try, right? So the best thing you can do is speak evidence into them. Confidence journal. This is for them, not you. You might need one for yourself. I do. You want them to know for themselves. I did a thing that I can be proud of. I actually did a thing. It's real. And sometimes I'm going to need to remind myself that I can do stuff because I'm going to get nervous and I'm going to doubt myself. And so I can go back into my journal and I can say, I really worked that set when I didn't have to. The coach wasn't even looking at me. And my mom wasn't there with her stopwatch. But I held 107s this time and I held 108s last time. I might be getting better. I streamlined past the flags on all of my turns today. And I normally only do that on the first wall. So I have the right to be confident. I'm earning the right to be confident. Okay. What went well? What did I learn? What am I up to? What am I trying to do here? Okay. And again, this is not yours, although I encourage you to do the same thing. Okay. Again, how do you feel about that? I love watching you. I'm with you. How can I help? These are the things you say. And it'll feel good to say these things because they really are true. Like just like the kids have the best part of themselves and then parts that you don't want to nourish. We have the best parts of ourselves as parents. I mean, don't raise your hand because this is 100% true. Who's gone to bed thinking like that was not it with my kids today. That was not it. I'm going to do better tomorrow. Right? Yeah. So it's okay. It's okay. What are you working on? What'd you learn? What are we doing? Right? Again, don't break it down on the drive. Okay? When my son made his first national junior team, which in the US is a pretty big deal, we had, hopefully guys, you know this artist, we had Weird Al playing in the car. Does anybody know Weird Al? Please say. Yes, thank you very much. Good. I love Rocky Road. On the way to the pool and back for 6 days before this meet. Weird Al Yankovic. He's ridiculous. He's just a satire comedy guy. And that's what we were focused on. We had to figure out where that song was that we wanted. That's what we did. And I'm his coach, right? There's a time to push and there's a time to just like, okay, let's get loose and let's go, right? Okay, are you nervous? Don't review the stuff. Let the coach handle the warm-up, okay? And then you are food, water, gear, on time, and calm energy. That is your job. Nail it. You wouldn't think that's hard, but again, as a parent, I know that it is. Okay? Food, water, gear, on time, calm energy, great. You're calm, they're calm. You're the thermostat, right? Not the thermometer. Right? The thermometer is taking the temp of them. They're up, you're up, right? No, you go. We're 26 degrees in here, son. We're not going up, we're not going down. Lock it in. Right? That's what being an adult is for them. Honestly, God, how many times have I said that? And unfortunately, I'm saying it because I've seen it. I see it. You will see it. You will see it in a week. You will see it. It won't be from Selangor, but you'll see it. You have the privilege of watching your child. When your child is 21 or 23, you're going to look back and you go, I had so much. remember when they were just a little bubby? Remember when my big fast kid was just a little nervous kid? Yeah, and it's good. It's good. It's awesome. How do you feel? Right? Use your lines. Coach's job to go first. You can say, what did your coach say? I don't know if you need to. I don't think it's offensive to, but I don't know why you need to know that. So, yeah, whatever you want there, right? If they don't want to talk about it, conversation's over. That's it. Leave it. I don't want to talk about it. Great. And on the way home, don't break it down. Don't break it down. Maybe they just want to play on their phone. Maybe they want to decompress. Maybe they're super stressed. Have any of you guys pulled into the driveway after work and sat there for an extra 5 minutes? Mm-hmm. Because you're not ready. You're not ready to go in and put on the other hat. Yeah. Yeah. Let them just decompress for a second. They need that too. Okay. Here we go. Here's my breakdown for you. We'll talk about it on the drive. Good water gear. On time. Calm energy. Good. Cheer. No timing, no coaching. Watch. Enjoy. Very good. After. How'd it go? I love you. Great. Okay. On the car ride. If they talk, be there. Let them talk. Especially if you're driving more than one kid and the other kid's not yours, and your kid's talking to that kid who's talking to that kid. Oh, I would shush. You're gonna hear all of the things you want to hear, right? Don't you jump in there. A lot. No analysis, no critique. Give them food. If they want to talk to you, great. If they don't want to talk to you, great. Right? Confidence is also a skill. I know some kids are audacious when they're young, but that doesn't mean they're confident. Audacious is a personality trait. Confident is a skill. So some kids are more timid. That's okay. It doesn't mean they're not going to be great racers. But there were definitely times where I needed to cry in my goggles, open them up, wipe them up, put them back on. As soon as I would get in the race, though, I'm good. As soon as I hit the water, I'm good. It's the part behind the blocks that I don't like. Right? So it's okay if they're not the most confident, audacious person behind the blocks. It's okay if they're not extroverted. They don't need to be. That's fine. So many personality types swim fast because all personality types can learn confidence. Okay? And confidence is grounded in actual stuff, honest self-talk. Let them own the process. You're the pit crew, right? So don't abandon them, but help them take ownership of what's theirs. You are the one person that can ruin the most stuff about their life. Unfortunately, it takes the whole village of people that they interact with to be successful. It takes all of us to help them. But you can ruin it yourself. And that's a lot. But we knew that. When we were going to have kids, we knew that. Just be mindful of that. Your words are big. The person that has the strongest words in their lives, that's you. So careful. Careful with that. Be a builder. Yeah. They're going to remember the relationship that they have with you. What I remember about swimming, in terms of my relationship with my mom, is that she would let me sit on her lap with my wetsuit at any age. There were times when I was 16, 17 years old and I would just plop down on her lap in my wetsuit. And that's where I wanted to be. I wouldn't stay there for more than like 30 seconds or something. But yeah, she would have a wet lap and I was, 150 pounds at the time. She would let me stay there. It was good, right? So again, how'd that feel? What are you working on? Thanks for choosing hard things. I keep coming back to it, but it matters. It matters. I want you to take that home.